Rain hammered against the windows that night, turning the city into a blur of lights and shadows. Maya Johnson, a 28-year-old black woman with a soft voice and a stronger heart, hurried through the front doors of the elegant Kensington home where she worked as a nanny. She shook the rain from her braids and held the strap of her bag close to her chest. Another long day. Another night of caring for a child she adored, while grieving the child she had lost. 5 years earlier, she had given birth alone in a cold hospital room. The doctor told her the baby hadn't survived. She remembered screaming, begging to hold her baby even if only to say goodbye. But the doctor, a stranger with tired eyes, simply shook his head and said it was better she didn't see the child. She had never recovered from that pain. Every birthday, every holiday, she lit a candle for the little girl she never got to touch. But tonight, she walked into the living room and saw the little boy she now cared for, 4-year-old Ethan, sleeping on the couch with his tiny arms curled around a stuffed penguin. His chest rose and fell gently. His curly hair glistened in the dim lights. He reminded Maya of the child she lost, which was why she bonded with him so deeply. His parents, Charles and Olivia Morton, were wealthy, cold, and rarely home. They treated Maya with polite distance, almost like she was invisible. But Ethan loved her. And that love kept her going. She leaned down to kiss Ethan's forehead until she noticed something. His breathing wasn't steady. It was sharp. Too fast. Too shallow. "Ethan," she whispered. He didn't respond. She touched his forehead. Burning hot. Then his little hands twitched. Her heart plunged into fear. She tried waking him. "Ethan, sweetheart, come on, baby. Wake up." Nothing. Her hands shook as she grabbed her phone and dialed emergency services, her voice trembling as she explained the symptoms. The dispatcher told her to keep him cool, keep him awake if possible, and wait for the ambulance. But then Ethan's breathing hitched, and he went completely still. "No, no, no. Ethan," she cried, lifting him into her arms. "Stay with me, baby. Stay with me." She ran outside into the storm, her body drenched instantly. The ambulance wasn't here yet. She couldn't wait. She began CPR right there on the wet pavement, tears mixing with the rain. "Come on. Come back to me." Her chest ached. Her knees scraped the concrete. Her voice cracked through the storm. "Please, baby. Please." Then, a tiny cough. A gasp. A cry. He was breathing. When the ambulance finally arrived, the paramedics rushed him inside. Maya climbed in with him, gripping his hand the whole time. "I'm right here," she whispered. "I'm not leaving you." At the hospital, she waited alone in a cold hallway. The doctor finally came out. "If you hadn't acted quickly," he said, "he wouldn't have survived. You saved his life." She sat down, shaking with relief. But everything changed when Charles and Olivia arrived. "How dare you take him to a hospital without our permission?" Olivia snapped. Maya blinked at her. "Your son almost died. And you're paid to deal with that," Olivia hissed. "Not to make decisions." Charles stepped closer. "Go home, Maya. We'll call you later." But they didn't. Not for the entire week. Maya cried herself to sleep every night, terrified they would fire her, and more terrified that Ethan was suffering without her. Then, on the 7th day, she got a call. "We need you immediately," Charles said, his voice trembling. "It's about Ethan." Her blood froze. When she arrived, she saw doctors, nurses, and security guards. Olivia was crying hysterically. Charles looked broken. "What happened?" Maya whispered. The doctor glanced at her, then at the parents. "We found something unusual in Ethan's blood test. DNA markers." "DNA markers?" Maya repeated. The doctor hesitated. Then spoke the words that shattered everything. "Maya, you are Ethan's biological mother." The world stopped. The hallway spun. Olivia gasped. That's impossible, we adopted him through a private agency. Maya felt the air leave her lungs. My baby died 5 years ago. The doctor shook his head. It appears there was no death certificate. No hospital record verifying that the child had passed. We believe your daughter was illegally taken and sold through a private adoption ring. My daughter? Maya choked. Yes. Ethan was listed male, but some adoption agencies altered small details to hide illegal practices. Olivia's voice rose. But he's our son. He's my child, Maya whispered, tears streaming down her face. They stole her from me. You adopted a stolen baby. Charles swallowed hard. We didn't know. But Olivia stepped toward Maya, her face twisted. You're lying. You're trying to take him from us. I didn't even know he was alive. Maya cried. Why would I lie? Security had to separate the two women. Charles, pale and shaking, said softly, we should let the court decide. Maya stared at him. I carried him for 9 months. I mourned him for 5 years. You really want a court to tell you who his real mother is? Silence filled the hallway. Then a small voice echoed. Mama? Everyone froze. Ethan stood in the doorway, holding the nurse's hand. He looked at Maya. Not Olivia. Not Charles. Maya. He ran toward her. Maya dropped to her knees and caught him in her arms, sobbing into his hair. Mama, he whispered again. You saved me. Even Charles looked away as his eyes filled with tears. Olivia broke down completely and stormed out of the hospital. Charles walked toward Maya slowly. Take him home, he whispered. You're home. I won't fight you. I'm so sorry for everything. Maya was stunned. Are you sure? He nodded. He belongs with you. And you deserve the child you lost. Ethan wrapped his arms around her neck. She kissed his forehead, her voice shaking. I'm never losing you again. That night, Maya walked out of the hospital holding her son, the child she thought she'd buried, the child she'd cried for, the child fate had thrown back into her arms. And for the first time in 5 years, the world felt whole again.